everybody. So I figured, while I'm kind of going through this whole tuning process, it takes usually a couple weeks. I figured I would, take the downtime that I have and then, all of us have regarding the situation going on right now. I could take that time and, the extra time in general to kind of go through some things with the focus that I wanted to get to this year. So I'll just show you. I kind of got everything taken apart here. I got my dash out, my seat out, my steering wheel, shifter. Literally, whatever interior that I did have is now out of the car. Everything is exposed. I mean, I left the harness in here just cause, but I went ahead and I started going through. Well, I pretty much finished doing the entire body harness, but I still have to go through all of the harness underneath the dash. I'm kind of debating whether or not I want to do it right now, but I figured, I'm here, might as well do it. But I kind of wanted to go in depth and show you guys, how much wiring actually is in the actual body harness. These might actually look like a lot of wires, which, I mean, it is a lot of wires. I mean, when you look at it at first glance, but taking into consideration, this is probably everything that, as of right now, the car needs to run, at least that I know of. So I'm not gonna mess with it until I, find, something that I can take out of the system. Maybe when I get an electric wiring diagram. But yeah, I've been doing this whole entire thing without an electric wiring diagram, which is not too crazy, because it's basically just everything. Like the speakers that I didn't use anymore, a lot of the other features in the car that I didn't use anymore, heated seats, the airbag control module, the restraints for the seat belts, all the other miscellaneous stuff that I don't use, period. I kind of just got rid of it, and all of that wiring is actually right here. So this is quite, actually, you can see how much this actually is. It's a lot. It actually weighs a significant amount too. Like, it's not like super light like you would think. I mean, when you think about it, it's just a bunch of metal in a big pile. But yeah, I'm gonna continue seeing how many more wires I can get out of this entire system. But if you come in, you can actually, see the dent that I did make in some of the sections of the harness. Like, if you look, how many wires are going into this connector compared to how many are over here. I'm not going to worry too much about getting all of these wires out of this side of the connector, just because I just wanted to get rid of the clutter coming from the back of the car, which it looks way better than it used to. And, connectors like up here, some of them went up to here. I went pin by pin and removed all of the wires from the connectors. Here's another one too. You can see a bunch of connectors coming in from the top, and then a fraction of the amount are coming out of the bottom. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going through this harness as much as as thoroughly as I think I need to, just to get rid of some of the connectors that aren't being used anymore, like stuff like this that I just didn't even have plugged in. I'm gonna see if I can trace them back to a connector, depin it, and then just continue this process of just getting all the useless stuff out of the car, that just to simplify everything and just make it easier to understand and easier to diagnose if anything does happen. Alright, so I don't know if I've mentioned the term depinning before, and basically what it is just you're depinning the connectors where they have a lot of wires. Typically you can just take all of the unnecessary stuff, like all of these that I didn't use anymore, you can just take them out of the connector itself. So there's this little inlay that goes into the connector, and all you have to do is pop that off. I have this tool that was given to me by a coworker of mine, and it's specifically used to actually lift the prong inside so you can depin the connectors. So that's what I've been doing these past couple days, is just going through the entire harness one by one, just picking out all the things that I don't need. So for stuff like this, it really makes it a lot more convenient for me, because these are pretty much the main two buttons, or my key fob sensor. This is what I use to start the car, and then I have my traction control button, which after removing the seatbelt restraint module, after I remove that, the traction control light just stays on all the time, and I'm assuming it's because I don't have traction control anymore permanently. So I'm still gonna keep it just in case later down the road it decides to start working again, and maybe I have to use this to disable it. But regardless, this is just gonna help clean it up a lot more, less clutter, less wires. So after hours and hours and hours of sifting through wires, I feel like I've finally come to a point of satisfaction, up to this point at least. I kind of got everything very simplified and, gathered together. I actually, call it jank or whatever, but I kind of used the frame rail as a junction box for all of these wires that don't really have a place to go anymore, because typically the factory harness has the plastic shroud that goes around the actual wires themselves. But I did my best to get rid of any loose end wiring. I kind of just didn't want to get too involved with the harness behind the dash. There's a lot of things regarding the hazard lights, which I couldn't get the hazard lights to turn off, so I managed to get them to stay off, and they aren't going to be turning on their own anymore. But besides that, I just stopped right after I encountered that, just because I didn't want to get into any more problems regarding the car and maybe possibly not being able to start it. So I just kind of tidied everything up, made it look somewhat good, so I can put the seat back in. That way I can put all the all the dash back in, and then see if it still starts up, no problems. Don't have any weird lights or anything. All right, so now that everything's hooked up, I'm gonna go ahead and try to start it. So what may have seemed like a couple seconds to you and maybe a good laugh was actually multiple days and a lot of hours of me in this car, just going through everything and double checking everything that I did, and trying to dig and see what actually happened to make the car not want to run and do what it was doing. Well, after everything was put in and I was satisfied with all the wires that I had taken out at the time, I went to start it, and I saw exactly what you guys saw on the display. The engine didn't crank. Access port wasn't getting a signal from the OBD2. So I was kind of freaking out. I was like, okay, what did I do here? I just kind of removed everything that wasn't necessary. But there was one thing. Basically, in removing the wires that I thought didn't need to be there, there was this can wire, and it is a white with a blue stripe and a solid white combination of can wiring. Now these two wires are actually the direct communication between the body control module and the power control module in the engine bay, because this wire actually goes through the firewall directly into the engine bay, and then goes into the power control module, and that's how the CAN network gets a signal from power control. And actually this does go to power control, power steering, and ABS, and that's why all those lights are on the display, because there's no connection or communication to the CAN network from any of those modules, because this wire was depinned from this connector right here, and there's another connector up there that goes into the like, it's not into the firewall, but it's right before the firewall. It was depinned from that connector, and if I didn't have this, I kind of would have been digging at this for a long time, but that definitely helps in a situation like this. And this whole thing just goes to show how, you know, important 2 wires actually can be an entire, you know, running car, and just to be able to get the car running, everything operating in harmony. So now I have the key on the little sensors, so now it turns on like normal. Fuel pump, you can hear it turn on, does normal chimes, still got power to the guardian angel, and it's just like normal. And then I can go ahead and sit here and start it. And it says that hill start assist not available because I took out the restraint control module. But yeah, runs normal. Basically all I'm gonna plan on doing is just getting all of the harness loomed up, because I just wanted to run it temporarily like this to see if everything would run, you know, as is. So I'm gonna work on getting all of this stuff loomed up, but I'm really happy with how much wire I took out, and when this is all loomed up, I feel like it'll look really good. Alright, so after a trip to the store and, you know, a couple hours devoted to getting the whole wiring harness set up, I kind of got it all cleaned up with the loom. It looks really good as of right now. There are some things that I would like to touch up on it, but for now, I'm satisfied with where it is right now. I was surprised at how many wires I was actually able to get out of the factory harness, which was my whole goal with this whole thing. And it wasn't too much weight. I mean, I just kind of wanted to get rid of the clutter and get everything, you know, organized, everything easily accessible. And I kind of just wanted to experiment with this and kind of get to know the car that much more and dive into the electronics, because I've never actually, you know, done anything like this on any of my personal vehicles. But it was really fun, and let me know what you guys think. Do you think I you know, ruined this car, or do you think it's actually pretty cool and something that you would, you know, consider doing, you know, to your car? Or not it doesn't necessarily have to be a Focus, but, you know, any project car or anything like that. And yeah, so let me know if you guys enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed doing this. It gave me something to do on this downtime while we're all going through this, you know, this scenario. So as of right now, I'm just kind of waiting for a tune revision coming from Purple Drink Tuning. That's who I'm going through now. But yeah, I'm going to be releasing this video before that one, so this might be a little confusing. I am going to be tuned through Purple Drink. Ryan there is going to be tuning my car, or he already is right now. But yeah, that video is going to be coming out after this one. I just kind of wanted to do something while I was waiting for all my revisions, and, you know, I'm continuing to go data log and all that stuff with the cars. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, hit the bell, and please subscribe if you want to see more of our content on the channel. And with that being said, see you guys in the next one.